All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you are viewing this video. This is it, guys. This is the final. All right, so I'm gonna go through the assignment. I'm gonna go through the how it's gonna be structured in the Google Classroom, and then just a final look, glance at the Google Calendar. This I believe is going to be our last video, instructional video for this class. So to this point, thank you so much for your hard work. I hope this class has offered you some insight and helped you to kind of fine tune some of your critical thinking skills, your writing skills, reading skills, those types of things as you move forward in English as a subject matter. All right. So, literature and composition 10, including honors as well. Spring final is a research and rhetoric paper. So, the research paper requires close reading of complex text from multiple sources, which you must comprehend, analyze, synthesize, and evaluate. These tasks um, are more sophisticated and are not merely just summarizing an article for a report, kind of like what we were doing in weeks previous. You're actually taking from these sources and rhetorically using them. All right. On that, rhetoric is the study and art of writing well. Also speaking well, but considering we're in distance learning at this point, throughout the end of the year, we're going to be specifically looking for you to use rhetorical appeals in the milieu of writing, not speaking. With that said, rhetoric teaches the essential skills of advanced learning and higher education. The stronger your rhetoric, the greater your academic and career success. So both research and rhetoric are going to be tools that you'll be using for the remainder of your academic life and even into your careers. Certain elements of research and rhetoric will go into how you are a successful employee, successful and forthcoming citizen. These types of things are fundamental to what it means to be human, really. A word of caution, this assignment is your final, okay? So I advise you to not procrastinate at all on this assignment. Distance learning offers its own set of challenges when writing a substantial paper of this magnitude. So reach out to me for assistance and clarification the moment you feel the concepts of this paper and its requirements become confusing or unclear, even in the slightest. This is your final, okay? And so it's about 20% of your grade. It would be very hard for you to do well in this class if you're missing anything from this assignment. All right, so you need to be timely and you need to be on top of it. All right. An additional note, there will be a material tab in the Google Classroom that contains additional resources for you to write this paper. All right. It's not going to be me really going over them. I'll point them out, but it's going to be up to you to research into that additional material that is going to help you write this paper. It includes the instructional video, which is what this is, a link to Purdue OWL for APA guidelines. Yes, it's an APA paper. Information on primary and secondary sources. So I'm going to give you guys a handout on that so you know the difference between those two, because you will be using primary and secondary sources. Steps for writing a research paper itself, and finally a checklist for proofreading and polishing your research paper. Also proofreading and polishing your partner's paper. All right, and I'll get to that in a second. The objective: to research an argumentative topic and use rhetorical appeals, logos, ethos, and pathos in order to educate, inform, and persuade an audience. The second objective is to use one's position, tone, attitude, rhetorical appeals, and textual evidence to support all points in order to create a substantial paper, synthesizing all information into a logical argument. Two pretty big objectives, all right? The basic criteria: you will need an introduction paragraph, at least 6 body paragraphs. This has to be a solid, substantial paper, okay? So you're going to need at least 6, and I'll show you how that breakdown goes. And then a conclusion on the research topic. And the research topic is listed in this instructional Google Doc on pages 2 through 3, and we'll go over that. It needs to be double-spaced, Times New Roman, font 12, all right? Typed and proofread, so it includes an outline, a rough draft, and a final draft. So that shows me that you have these typed out and proofread and structured well, and you're following the writing process. All right. All components are completed, and the rubrics are on pages 4 through 6 of this Google Doc. Appropriate title on an APA title page. Minimum of 5 quality resources for evidence, 2 that are primary, 3 that are secondary. You can use more than 5. Minimum of 3 in-text citations in APA format. So you need 3 direct quotes, and you need to format it correctly in APA. And then you need the reference list or works cited if you're going to use that language, but APA is reference list. Possible research topics are listed here below. So this is the first step is to find a research topic in this list that you feel that you can write a substantial paper for. And then you need to clarify that with me by Tuesday, May 5th. So you get over a week to select a topic, all right? Make sure you verify that topic with me. So post it to the Google Classroom before it's due, all right? So that I can verify with you. If you wait till Tuesday and your topic is not, if you go off this list and you want to try something different, then I can't verify it until you actually post it, all right? So make sure, even if it's from the list, make sure you post it, all right, before Tuesday so that it can be verified by Tuesday, so that Friday of that same week you can start compiling your outline. What does the outline look like? Well, it has a thesis statement, which is 1 to 2 sentences. It has 6 topic sentences, all right, for your 6 paragraphs. If you're using more than 6 paragraphs, it needs more than 6 topic sentences, okay? And that needs to be posted by Friday in a list form, outline form, all right? Show me your thought process. Editor verification and rough draft. So we are going to have some components here of you must write a rough draft on a Google Doc. Be sure to share this doc with your editing partner before you even submit it to the Google Classroom. Your editor must verify with me via email that he or she has received your paper by Thursday, May 14th. Here to do the same for your own partner, okay? So you need to share out the rough draft to your editing partner, and I'll show you that list in a moment, but that needs to be done before the rough draft. So Thursday, May 14th is when I should be receiving emails from each one of you saying that you have received your rough draft from your partner, the rough draft from your partner. Use transition words, but do not worry too much about grammar or conventions yet in the rough draft. Also, the rough draft does not need the APA title page or reference page. It is more important to get the general idea down on paper. And the rough draft needs to be posted by Friday, May 15th. All right. I'm not worried about grammar here. I'm not worried about APA requirements or anything. I just want to see the bulk of your writing set up. All right. Please expect some comments from me. Make sure that you're commenting on your partner's paper at this point, because 10 days after the rough draft, the final draft is due. Once again, this is your final, so everything just needs to be pristine, ready to go. You do not want to lose any points on this. That means use your editor, use myself. Make sure that you're drafting and polishing this paper up, okay? Make sure it is the best work that you have done so far this year in English, all right? Let's go ahead and go to the Google Classroom now. I'll show you kind of the structure here. So when these start being released, and I believe I'm going to release them the same day, so don't be too confused, even though it'll overwhelm your inbox. The instructions are going to be in here, all right? So there's the assignment that we just went over. The other forms here are going to be those items that I told you about. So here's the steps for writing a research paper. There's some good information in here for you to go over. About 9 points on the steps. If you feel like there needs to be a little bit more clarification on some points, it's a great resource. Over here is the difference between primary and secondary resources. So it tells you kind of what's going on with primary resources. That will be for examples in history, rhetoric, and literature. So this is going to be the one that you're going to want to look at specifically here. Social and natural sciences. I just gave you a bunch of different ideas here, but this is going to be the one that you're going to be dealing with the most. All right, your checklist here. So that'll basically cover everything. this could be used for your own purposes, for when you go to edit your partner's paper and all that good stuff, all right? So that's going to be the instructions, the rubrics, and the resources and all that. The selected topic goes here, the outline goes there. Confirm reception of partner, that's through email. Here are the partners here. So the first one, I have a little asterisk here because obviously this is a group of 3, which is a little different than the norm since there's an odd number of you. So Joe, you would share your draft with Muhammad, who shares with Lila, and Lila shares with Joe. All right. And then your comments will go on that road. Everyone else just kind of interchanges comments with each other and papers with each other. So Michael and Abby, Mackenzie and Trey, Cassidy and Savannah, Francis and Riley, Miriam and Edward, and then Wintel and Claire. All right. That'll be the day before your rough draft is due, which you would post here, and then the final draft posted on the top there. All right. So that's the layout. It will be released all at once, so I don't want you guys to feel overwhelmed. It's just going to give you an opportunity to get a little bit ahead of the curve, okay? Because if you go to the rubrics here, one of the things that's going to make you score very high is how much on top of it you are. If you're turning in stuff on time or early, the higher your score is going to be. It'll definitely help. Like, let's say you're missing some aspects of certain components here in the rubrics, but you turned in the assignment early, that's going to help kind of balance that out, okay? So keep that in mind. So those are the components in the rubrics there that you can look at. Make sure you're keeping all 6 in mind while you're writing, all right? So that's the layout in the Google Classroom. It's under Research and Rhetoric paper. The assignment here has everything that you're going to need. And so let's just look at it kind of from a bird's eye view here, what's going to be going on. So today is the 27th. I'm going to give you some composition assignments just to kind of get those writing mechanics back. We're going to look at some things in grammar that we didn't look at the beginning of the school year, so way back in first semester. So we started with grammar, we're going to end with grammar, kind of a full circle ending here. And since this is a literature class, I found it kind of appropriate to have a full circle ending. So this week, basically just doing those composition assignments, looking through the research and rhetoric paper instructions and whatnot, kind of getting a grapple for everything. So it's all released this week, so you can kind of digest it a bit. All right, so I'm giving you a whole week to kind of sort your thoughts while doing some grammar assignments for me. The week after that is when you start brainstorming your ideas. So you can do that this week, but next week I expect it. So if you stay to this schedule, you'll be fine. All right. So brainstorm topics next week. Start building that outline after you've gotten your topic verified. And then your outline will be finished and you're going to be starting to write your paper for the first time. This is your first go at it. So you're going to be writing the paper, you're going to be drafting the paper, making sure it's all organized and everything. Not polished, not complete, but organized. Share it with your editor by Thursday on the 14th. Turn in the rough draft the next day. And then there's going to be an entire week after that of editing your paper with your editor, with my comments, whatever it might be, polishing your paper, making sure it's complete, and then you have Monday, May 25th by 11 a.m. the final draft is due. So you get an entire month to write this paper. All right, so there should be no excuses to being able to do extremely well on this paper. It's very slowly digested. All right, and you're not, after the composition assignments, after those 4 grammar assignments, you're not receiving any more assignments. So what I'm expecting you to do is really to knock this paper out and maybe work on some assignments that you might be missing. If you're somebody who's missing assignments, this is a good time to get caught up on that. Let's make sure we're not missing any assignments and that our paper is following the procedures and is meeting all the criteria and is scoring high in the rubric. All right. I want you guys to be very successful in this, and that's why I'm giving you ample time to do it. All right. So once again, email me if you have any questions and let me know. Reach out maybe to your partner early on. That might be a good thing to do. Other than that, let me know if you find any of this confusing or overwhelming, and we can try to break it down for you. All right. So as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless.